Good evening and welcome to the Car 7 Race Driver Show with our original specials. It's Jonathan Sutherland and
Howdy, campers.
They've all decided to wear cowboy hats.
We're here. We are going to have a show. We're going to have it in cooperation with Liberty Media. We're going to make sure the show goes the way that we want, not the way you want, Hugh.
I got to say, like, I'm from Virginia, which is kind of like Texas, but also like Yorkshire. So, I'm young. So
yeah, I'm not sure it's terribly like Yorkshire.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you all the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth.
This madness is coming off the back of the slightly controversial Grand Prix in Abu Dhabi, which I think has driven us all slightly mad. I'm now wearing aviators and a Texan cowboy hat. And Rue, I don't know what he's doing.
I would have aviators, but they didn't tell me that when I had to get up. Because I was going to steer you with my new wheel.
I think before
Max Verstappen, I'm going to go straight. I'm going to go around the left-hand bend. I'm Nico Rosberg. I'm going to go around the left-hand bend.
Go wherever Netflix say to go, Rue. That's what we need to do. Netflix say turn left. Netflix say turn right. Overtake the lap cars, and away we go.
I could have done my other joke. I could have got my hands-free kit and had it put in here. So these are my special. I got my special microphone that I can talk to the team for Netflix, and I've got my special earphones I can talk to the team for Netflix, and I've got a special earpiece I can talk to Liberty Media.
I do think 2021 is the year.
Hey man,
F1 just
we
became
don't
Netflix
want.
one.
I've got a big mustache. We're in America. We don't want any of this nonsense about racing. What we want to do is have safety cars.
That does actually look quite like the American guy, doesn't it, from Liberty Media?
No shit.
Yeah, it does.
Hugh, really?
Yeah. Maybe it's the colour of your cap, the background, but it did. The guy when he kind of gave you a bit of with the glasses and the whole thing.
This is like the people who keep telling me, "No, Andrew, what you need to do when you're using the pad is use these." Because at 52 years of age, I've never tried that in my life. Because I must be an idiot. Yes, so that was the point. The guy with the big mustache. Basically, what he is a corporate version of Elliot Gould, who is one of the coolest cowboys ever to have lived. So I'm Elliot Gould. I'm in charge of Trinity Media. And I somehow bamboozled one of the greatest racing people, Ross Brawn, to give. Ross Brawn is effectively the Tom Hanks of racing, isn't he? Because he's brought Thingy. John, you're the ones. You've got brains and words. And
I just think that I don't think the result of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix has been good for any of us. I think it's affected us quite badly in that we seem to have lost our collective minds because the sport that we really love and that we're enthusiastic about seems to be manipulated in order to provide a finale for Netflix. And it's not good.
I mean, what do you say?
I really almost don't want to watch.
Scusami, Mr. Sutherland.
Michael Massi. My name's Michael Massi. Thank you.
Mr. Massi,
race
I don't
director.
Understand the way you say. When you say regulations say no overtakey. 3 lap from at the end. I don't understand. I'm from a China. I have 12 billion people and bigger guns.
Is there 12 billion people in China?
I have many more virus here to kill you.
That will definitely get teed up from YouTube.
Maybe smaller
fire on your house view.
And I'm making a railway line so you can no batteries. You can no more batteries. I buy all the batteries in the world. So your hybrids. My accent is a change a little bit. hello, Mr. Massi. Your regulations only as good as the guns you enforce them with. So maybe change a little bit.
So-
Also, Black Lives Matter, but not in China. Or Saudi Arabia, or Qatar,
Or Abu Dhabi, that's for sure.
Abu Dhabi, or Russia, or any other very big market. It don't matter. Just pick a something nobody give a shit about. And then do as you're told. Or we kill you.
It sounds like that one.
You
What was it?
kill
Team
you,
America.
Dad.
It does sound like Team America, doesn't it? King Long Jim from Team America.
Oh, yes.
So Rome Re.
How busy I am.
We'll wait for the North Korean Grand Prix and next year's Netflix special.
Exactly. I think Kim Jong Un will win it.
It
Exactly.
sounds like government official. He not understand what Kim Jong Il say. Maybe he needs shy head. Maybe Boris
Everyone
needs
got
to
my fish.
lose, get beer. So
No.
yes,
Just to let everyone know who's watching, because we have people watching.
Do we?
We've got Simon, we've got Jerry, and Simon. Simon is watching, and it's telling me we've got a few others as well. So it's great to see everybody. This is the Car Simon Race Driver Show. There's a bit of a boys' banter night tonight, and we are of course talking about the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix
A little bit.
and what happened and how it has left us kind of almost numbstruck with the result, because not that we're all Lewis fans, to be fair, we're probably not, but the way it was done, the way that the race was finished,
hell of a driver. Poor politician.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be very interesting actually if you, all the guys watching there, guys and girls watching, if you have questions and you would like to put your point of view forward, please do so, and we will bring that into our conversation because we think it's great to get a good discussion. And it would be lovely to have your views. We know that I think a lot of the older fans who have been watching F1 for a long time were really quite, they were really thought, you can't do this. You can't run F1 like this. But it'd be interesting to see, because a lot of the younger fans, a lot of the Max Verstappen fans were obviously over the moon. Now, Simon has said, was that Lewis's last race?
Quite rightly.
Well, seemingly Toto Wolff has said that they cannot guarantee that Lewis will be racing next year.
Yes, this is in the last 5 hours or so. Sky F1 has not Sky F1, sorry, Sky News has put out a report saying that the Toto Wolff has said that he cannot guarantee
If it's going to be there.
Lewis being in Formula One next year.
Yeah. Does it not remind you a little bit of 1989 after the Senna-Prost crash, the infamous kind of coming together? And but John Marie Balestra at the time was the head of the FIA, and he was basically giving Prost all the advantages at that time. And Senna went away at the end of that year very, very upset, and also was in a position saying, should he come back? But of course he did, and then won it in 1990. So we hope that Lewis comes back, because we don't want him to drop out like that. I think that
the difference is Senna only had 2 world championships at that point, didn't he?
Yeah.
So he had a lot to prove. He had was it one?
He only won. He won in 88, 90, and 91. So in 89, he was heading for the second one.
So he had so much more to prove than Lewis.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised at all if Lewis decided to go, bye then. I've got stuff to do. I don't need any of this. Because I watched this. I was so excited. This was the second race of the year I could watch live. I mean, I've got a life or anything. I've got some beers in. And I sat and watched the race, and it was amazing. What a fantastic battle between two people I don't really like. Okay. And you get thrown stuff at you, fanboy, and it's like, no. The last person I really followed was DC.
Yeah, yeah.
Ricardo, who was the last person I could have definitively told you I was a fan of, and he's been crap for 2 years, or for the last year, I should say.
Yeah, he struggled at McLaren.
He really struggled. It's kind of, I don't understand it. And because I'm a nerd, it's all about understanding what they're doing to make them so fast. You know, it's like, what's the point of this thing? How can I be faster with this? And can I do it? You know? And then you get constant interference. The entire year, you've had constant interference. Safety cars, penalties. It's a total and constant interference by the authorities in what's meant to be clean racing.
Yeah.
What the hell? John,
well,
come on.
We've got a very good question here from James Clark. Welcome, James, to the channel. It's great to see you. And it's great to get you asking a question. It says, hi, guys. Forgetting what happened this weekend, do you think it's ever fair for someone to gain an advantage after someone crashes and a safety car is deployed? Why not just close the pit lane? Seemingly in IndyCar, Jerry has said that they close the pit lane, or they should close the pit lane.
Do they?
Oh, you're like, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Seriously? Because the 1 year I watched the Indy 500, what totally spoilt it for me was the fact that every time there was a crash, the safety car came out, and any advantage someone had built up was disintegrated completely. And then they all came rushing into the pits, and you had no idea who came out in front. You had, I mean, do you remember our 6'3" guy, Mark? Is it Watson? Mark Wilson.
Oh, I think Wilson, wasn't it?
6'3", the tallest driver in F1 ever. Justin Wilson.
He died, did he not? Isn't it? He was killed in a crash.
Yes, he was killed in a crash in IndyCars, and he ended up leading the race. But he was in a midfield car.
Yeah.
And he was leading the race because of a shuffle. Basically, they had a shuffle at the pack. You know, a bit like the idiotic idea of having reverse grids. You know, it's like, well, he's leading the race. Yeah, but it doesn't mean anything. He's not leading the race because he's in a fast car and he's a fast driver. He's leading the race because of the shuffle after a pit stop because of a safety car. And it was all because of a crash in a safety car. And I watched the entire Indy 500 without a clue what was going on. It was literally random until the last 10 laps.
Yeah.
So why don't they use the virtual safety car? I mean, why did they pull out a full safety car? Because the virtual safety car is great because it maintains the distance between all the same cars.
Yeah. And so why? How many times this year, John, have they had a virtual safety car for 20 laps, 10 laps, 5 laps? Then they bring out a proper safety car and crunch everyone together. There's only one reason they do that, and that's to make the bunch of field up so they get racing again. It's all driven by...
Under a safety car, they don't have to... I know they're meant to slow down past the incident, but in theory, they can go as fast as they want in the car to catch up with the field on a safety car. So they can be driving faster on the track. But with a virtual safety car, they've got to reduce their speed. Is it either by 40% or to 40% of where they were before?
There's a window of times, isn't there? We should get on there.
So they've got to drive the car around the lap to a certain time. Exactly.
I think the problem was that they couldn't get Lewis in as soon as the Latifi crash happened. And because Max was a bit behind, he had the best view of it. So he was able to come in straight away and get his tyres changed. And Lewis couldn't have done that because he would have lost
he had nothing to lose. He had nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And with a little bit of help from the FIA and Michael Massi, obviously got the championship. But it felt a bit hollow. I mean, I'm pleased for Max. I like Max. I'm not sad that Max is world champion. But even he realizes that on the day, it should not have been him.
Yeah. I just think Lewis, under every point in that race, Lewis was able to almost pull away and get ahead. And that was down to, his car was good, but he was making it happen. The last few races, Lewis has been able to exploit everything he could with that car. And
look where Bottas was. Where were Bottas and Perez?
Yeah,
People constantly going about, it's the car. Where's Bottas? Where's Perez? End of. Perez is a well-respected Formula 1 driver. Bottas is as fast as anything. And he out-qualifies Lewis a lot of times. Not just a couple of times. A lot of times. Where were they? Where are they in the entire year? Where are they?
Yep,
in the
and Verstappen had
man?
come in under was it a previous safety car? He'd come in or built the safety car.
Yeah,
He'd come in and got the medium tire, and Lewis was still out in the hard, and Lewis was still staying ahead.
Yes.
I thought Verstappen would have actually caught Lewis, but he wasn't. Lewis was handling it beautifully on those worn tires, and I mean, if that hadn't happened, you might have thought, oh well, maybe there was a bit of underlying pace in the Red Bull, but there really wasn't. It was absolutely the Mercedes' race and Lewis. And to end it like that, I just felt absolutely deflated after it, actually. Really quite upset by it.
So as soon as I saw it, as soon as it was announced that the 5 cars could overtake, I knew that was it over. I just knew. I thought, no, that's the thing. I thought, they can't do that. It's got to be either all or nothing. You can't just have a few that you've picked, a choice pick. To then, because you knew they'd made this for the race, because you knew that I mean, he was on the soft tires, it was over. Whatever. I mean, Lewis had no. I actually thought Lewis gave him a lot of room because the thing is, Lewis was expecting these last-minute dive bombs by Max because he knew that was the only way Max could pull it off. But when he actually overtook at the hairpin at the first hairpin, Lewis gave him plenty of room. It's a pity he didn't block a wee bit more, because that may have just put him off slightly.
If he'd have crashed out together, he would have lost anyway. That's the point.
Yeah, but even just not allowing him to overtake by just slowing him up a wee bit, to try. I think there's so many straights there, and I think he would have gotten past eventually. But yeah, it was. I just think Michael Massi has taken too many liberties with the racing. And he's doing too much himself to try and sort things out.
Hugh,
and that's
we said this the other day, Hugh. I mean, come on. Tell me about what you think about why Michael Massi is doing. Michael Massi is obviously a weak character. He's someone that does not want to stand up to the teams.
Yeah.
Brundle said in an interview this week, he said that Charlie Whiting was feared by the teams.
Yeah.
Nobody challenged him because he would have them. Honestly, he would just, and that's Michael Massi. There was not Michael Massi, that was Charlie Whiting. Michael Massi, from the beginning, the last 2 years of Michael Massi's reign, there's been egotistical self-defense. When he screwed up, he would be self-defending himself repeatedly, rather than he can't admit fault. He can't even pretend to not admit fault while changing what he did. It's all.
Where did Massi come from? Was Massi Charlie Whiting's number 2?
I don't know.
Or did you just come from some other?
I've never heard of it before. Never heard of it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But it's certainly it just makes you think, if they keep going like this, he's too, he's trying to please everybody, or he was clearly on the phone to Red Bull, and he's and not to Mercedes. He was giving one preference over the other. And you can't get away with that.
Was it the race before? He's asking Red Bull their preference for a restart.
Yeah.
And also, he didn't tell Mercedes.
Like on the grid.
Yeah, he didn't tell Mercedes.
Mr. Marr, you've been caught doing 120 mile an hour in a 30 zone. How would you like this to go? Would you like to just have a slap on the wrist and do a bit of community service, or do you want to lose your license, have a huge fine, and go to prison? Let me think. Give me a second. Actually, I don't want to do either of those. What I would like is just to get away with it completely and then carry on for the rest of my life driving as fast as I like. What do you think?
Well, it was done the week before, because remember when Lewis hit Max when he slowed down? When he was told to him, they hadn't told Mercedes to give the place back at that point. And that's why, because the engineer is going to be on the phone on the radio to Lewis straight away. To tell them that you can go past. And I think that's why the issue happened, because they told Red Bull far too early and they didn't tell Mercedes. They should have had an open commentary to them both. They both should have been on at the same time saying, look, this is what's going to happen. And that was that, but they didn't do it. And I'm kind of amazed that they don't, if they're going to do these kind of stunts, they really need to have the setup to make it fair, because it simply doesn't look fair. And Susie Wolff was saying that she was so disappointed and just wonders what's going to happen for next year, because it's losing its credibility. And I think with a lot of fans of our age, they have lost credibility completely.
Lost its credibility.
Yeah.
Lost, not losing. Losing was the past 2 years. That race lost the credibility. But this is the problem, okay?
Yeah.
More people watch that race than anybody else ever.
Really? Goodness.
Yeah,
well, I suppose, especially with the controversy.
The audience, and that is what Liberty Media is going for. They don't give a damn. The latest F1 drivers that you love this phrase, fanboy. You're a fanboy because you disagree with me, and I'm offended, and I've got tight pants on, and I dress like a girl. Whatever, I don't care. The point is, but that's the point. The point is
I think that's a fanboy. It's something else.
Fan trans. The point I'm making is I don't give a damn who people support, but I support teams. I'm interested. I've got teams I like. I have drivers I like. Okay, seem to like a Williams until they stop being Williams and McLaren. But because Lewis, though he's a complete arsehole and a total idiot in the crap he comes out with, and he failed. The year he disappointed me was the last time I supported him, which was 2007, where he was so immature in his immaturity. It was like I was so disappointed I couldn't carry on supporting him, because my hero Jackie Stewart was saying if you just 4 races from the end, he would have been world champion if he did finish third or whatever it was. But he was so focused on winning at all costs that he wouldn't think of the long game. He'd be the first rookie world champion. But the thing that's impressed me is that over the years where he was in the wilderness, he got his first world championship in 2008, but McLaren were in the wilderness for a few years, midfield. And he won races and didn't win races, and he learnt off Button and he got mature. And that's the guy we see today.
Yeah.
The guy we see today is the guy that's kind of been tested and hardened and matured and understood stuff. We've now got a guy that can look after his tyres while being as fast as anybody else. I remember used to watching Rosberg and Hamilton together. And Rosberg is a super fast driver. I mean, there's no way you can pretend Rosberg's not super fast. If Hamilton hadn't been there, it would have been a multiple world champion, right?
Yeah.
But Hamilton was going faster on the track while saving more fuel. They used to have a graphic.
Yeah, that's right. Remember, they used to have this, how much fuel.
And it's like, wait a minute. So this Lewis Hamilton guy, not only is he rawly super fast, he's capable of being technically excellent. He's able to look after his tyres like Perez, because Perez has only ever been able to look after his tyres. That's this thing. Perez looks after his tyres. And it's like, well, he had those high placed positions early in his career based on looking after his tyres. But he couldn't do anything else.
That's what you want, isn't it? On your obituary was he looked after his tyres.
He looked after his tyres, right? And you look at him now compared with Verstappen,
and
you
even
can
Hugh
see
gets fewer miles than Perez out of his tyres.
Perez is a midfield runner who can look after his tyres. That's it.
So what do you think? What do you think will happen next?
He can look after his fuel. He can go as fast as anybody. And when he's got a problem, he fixes it.
Well, Mercedes aren't going to appeal it. So
they're withdrawing their appeal. I think they had to, because at the end of the day, it wouldn't have been right. You kind of think, yes, it would have been nice if they could have changed it, but it would have had to have happened straight away. They needed to look. It should have really happened at the end of the race, and it would have been taken to account straight away, because they didn't want to do it.
Change their own decision.
Yeah, they weren't going to do it. No, they weren't. They weren't going to do it. Jerry has asked, "Loosen your belt, Roo. You must be looking like it's going to pop. Like the belt, the buttons are going to pop."
Absolutely not. Listen, if anybody out there thinks I've got my own channel called Roo's Rants, which I've not ranted on yet because I don't know how to go about it and I'm lazy. But if anybody out there thinks I'm some kind of mild-mannered moron, oh God, no! You're just like, if you don't like me, bog off. I spent a lifetime being told, calm down, don't get angry. I'm not angry. I'm passionate. This is when you get, this thing was made by passion. I want to get the BBC people that say that kind of crap, and I want to twist the head off and then spit down the neck. Okay? Because honestly, this wasn't made by passion. You don't make things by passion. You make things by hard work and application of your abilities. Passion is this crap. Passion is where you care. You really care. And you care so much. Now, I've got bugger all in my life until this sim racing bullshit. And this crap. Oh, you people out there, you've just really ruined everything for me. I thought I had a pretty good box of the people I wanted to hate. And then the human race came along and decided to ruin that by being nice. But the point is...
Oh, there's something bumping away with that.
Formula One is the thing I have cared about for 26 years.
Yeah.
I lost so much in my life. So much. The average person would not be able to understand what I've lost. The one thing in my life that was constant was Formula One. And Liberty Media have totally screwed that up.
Yeah, you wonder what they're going to do from here.
No,
they're going to carry on. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Completely. It's terrible for the real fans that care about the sport. What happened on Sunday?
And racing, John. Yes, racing. Not a driver or a team or being a fan. Racing.
Yeah, and then Michael Massi keeps coming back and saying it's a motor race, Toto. Yeah, but a motor race, you don't just do half the rules. You let half or five of the cars drive past.
I thought that was quite insulting.
Yeah,
I thought it was quite insulting to say that, and I just think, as you say, they have long lost credibility completely, and it's going to be again. They've made it for TV, and they're, I think, as well with some of the coverage that you're going to get, they're going to be very, very aligned with what the FIA do, because they know they're going to lose their contract if they try and
millions of pounds are involved here, not just like a couple of quid. And Simon just said, 30 years and he's younger. Yes, you are younger, mate. Absolutely. And you've been to many more tracks than I have. And I'm not talking about competition.
Yeah.
I've been aware of Formula One my entire life.
Mm.
All right. My earliest memories is talking about Sterling Moss and Jackie Stewart, and James Hunt and Barry Sheen were two names that were burnt into my youth.
Mm.
Born in '69, so I was pre-10 years old when they won their championships.
Yeah,
and I still remember the days when Barry Sheen died and James Hunt died. So it's not like Formula One and other forms of motor racing weren't there. It's not like I was unaware. I just was not interested in Formula One because, to me, back in those days, it was driving round in circles.
Well, what was interesting, you could see it over the recent years, I would say over the last 10 or 12 years, kind of, I kind of think it reached its peak of some great cars. You had the V10 engines in the mid 2000s and some fantastic cars, great sound, great spectacle. I remember, Jonathan, when we used to go and watch the testing at Jerez, and we saw it was fantastic seeing the cars go around and the noise.
You'd hear the cars 2 miles from where you saw them. I mean,
it was amazing. It was incredible, and it really gave it everything. And we thought, we have to get to a Grand Prix, And then it just gradually got worse. Then they had obviously the V8s, and they were pretty good. They were amazing to watch as well, amazing to listen to. But you could kind of tell now what I think is the biggest difference before the kind of wokeness and politicization of Formula One really took a kind of worldly political view. There was a few years ago at Spa, the Greenpeace, I think it was, one of the kind of environmental groups made a protest, and they put they were on one of the stands at the first hairpin. I think at La Source, is it La Source, the first hairpin? And they put this big kind of poster, this huge poster came rolling down, and there was a guy hanging from a line. And the thing was, because Bernie was in charge, they said, "Do not." They didn't show it. They refused to cover it on any of the cameras, so nobody knew what was going on.
They're not going to glorify this nonsense, absolutely.
Yeah, And we thought, great, that kind of showed that they were in the right mind and they could take control of the situation and not get distracted. But now it's like they are looking for a distraction. They're looking for this. They're trying to do all the kind of stuff that they think is going to get them votes or get them viewers.
Well, the wokeness has gone through everything in society. You see, going through government, it goes through corporations, it's gone through sport, it's even gone through the church. Everything is woke. It's the new religion, and it's just ruining
John,
it.
what is woke to you? What is this wokeness? I'm not putting you on the spot. I want to know what do you see when you see woke stuff going on? What is it?
Woke is like God to progressives. I mean, it's kind of what
it's the virtue signaling.
They worship.
It's making yourself look good over everything else, and better than anybody else. And anyone who disagrees with you has got no moral character whatsoever. You're either on that side or you're not, or you hardly exist.
And that's very. If you're either for us or against us, Because the interesting thing is, I know you two would be classically defined as like right wing. Okay, if you're going online now, you go, you're right wing. But the thing is, I'm left wing. Okay, I was brought up as a Labour supporter. I was brought up working class. I was brought up in every kind of bracket, union, every kind of bracket you consider to be left wing. And I am sick of it because these people do not represent me or any of the poor people of Britain. These are all morons from Islington on £150,000 a year telling poor people your attitude is wrong because you're not something. And what the hell?
Well,
it's not even a left-right issue.
No, it's not left-right. You can get away with it.
Exactly. But to take it to a point,
party, look at the Allegra Stratton. She's woke, but she can get away with doing what she did because she's got the right opinions. If you have the right views, you say the right things, you've got the right bumper sticker on your car, your behavior is beyond repute, and you are protected by other people within your religion.
A woke politician taking 3 different salaries from 3 jobs other than being an MP. And that's fine. And no one says to you, these 3 jobs you've got, what are you getting paid for? Oh, I'm a director. So what do the companies which only pay for something they get a return on, because they're not stupid, what are they getting from you? Oh, no, nothing.
Look at every policy on the
paying you for then.
Whether it's green energy, whether it's vaccines, whatever it is, it's just.
Can I bring this back? Can I bring this back to F1?
Yes, get back to F1.
Well, but the F1 thing is part of it.
But let me bring that point to you. It is because when they do We All Race as One, their video, their virtue signaling video that they all have to do, and they take the knee and some of them stand up and whatever else. But they say in that quote, and this is what really annoys me, is that they say change starts with you, and it's like, no, every honest person that's made a good speech says change starts with me. They take responsibility and they say, I need to change. I need to do what is right. And it's nonsense. And I think a lot of people feel that they are getting attacked almost. They're being pilloried for who they are, and they haven't done anything wrong. They're not racist. They don't treat people badly.
Listen, mate, and put a mask on. Put a mask on and social distance. Meanwhile, I'm going to have a party. You'll be arrested for not doing it, but I'm going to have a party with my mates in Whitehall right now. Hold on.
I think,
and then I'm going to have a pretend. I'm going to have a pretend conference. I'm going to find it funny. Not only am I going to despise all of you people, I am going to laugh at you.
But I mean, I know a lot of people get put off with the politics, but
these people don't represent anybody in this country. Nobody, not a single person. I'm wrong. They represent about 10 people with about £1 billion each.
I think the problem that if I can bring this back again to the F1 issue, that because it goes wider than just Britain. Formula One is worldwide. It's all everywhere.
Biggest audience.
I think that,
any sport.
Yeah, 500 million people watch it.
That's why Liberty Media are doing what they do.
Yeah, But the issue is, I think they'll probably keep a lot of their younger audience who is kind of used to this and thinks it's probably the norm, which is unfortunate in that way, because I think we want people to think for themselves and to look at the real truth of everything.
Social media,
the political correctness, unfortunately, covers it doesn't make it doesn't believe in truth. It simply believes in its narrative, and this is the big problem. It doesn't work out as
and
real.
Do you think they're actually deliberately trying to exclude people like us? I think we're basically being chucked on the scrap.
Yeah, I think they don't really bother. They think we're old enough that we can go and do something else.
White men in their 40s and 50s watching F1. We want this to be a new, younger crowd.
Yeah, I know. Just diverse and everything else.
It's part of what they want to read, and that's fair enough, I suppose. But you want racing supporters, not football supporters.
Yeah.
It's the new people are into this kind of partisan, this idea that if you're supporting someone, you attack everybody else. It's like,
look at the fact the lady that
disagree with me. You're a fanboy of.
Yeah. Well, we look at the fact that Martin Brundle tries to speak to people on the grid, and now more and more so, people are saying, "No, you're not allowed to speak to this person." He's being told he's not allowed to speak to this person or that person.
So Brundle's being stopped from doing grid walks by
There
PR.
was an American singer that was on, and he spoke to her, and she spoke back and said yes, she would talk, and then the minder and the kind of team around her, basically all the PR people pushed them away and said, no, you're not allowed to talk
and
to
that in such a visual way was saying this sport is not for you anymore. It's not about the racing fans, it's not about the racing pundits, it's about us.
The celebrity and
Simon
money.
Simon, you've got to be over there.
Will it burn out? I mean, if you look at things like, I don't know, things like podcasts taking over from the BBC or Sky News. I don't listen to a TV anymore. I just listen to podcasts generally or things on YouTube. I mean, if you can get racing, car racing or bike racing or whatever, on a much more grassroots level and watch it on YouTube or something with real enthusiastic people, can we just forget F1 and can we get that coming through? Sim racing to a certain extent is doing that. The top sim racers, in a way that they don't need the money, they don't need all the cash behind it, and people had enough of all the virtue signaling in F1 and the ads and the corporates and the work. I think people are doing sim racing.
I think in the lower echelons of the streaming kind of world, it's probably more straightforward to do that. When you get to the higher levels, like the big guys like Jimmy Broadbent, Super GT, and the others who have made it so far, through they get to drive real cars. They're all over the world. Super GT was in Abu Dhabi and watching the race, and he's actually driven a racing car around the new circuit. I think he has to be very, very careful. And he probably has to go along with all the politically correct stuff because he knows that his kind of career depends upon it.
If you've bought £1 million house based on something that you're doing, and then somebody comes, I mean, this is why I have some sympathy with there's people I follow on Instagram in Hollywood, okay? And there's this whole thing about Disney, wokeizing and destroying Star Wars. Now, if you look. They call this thing the silent majority, don't they? If you look at the backlash, that's big enough to cause Disney to change their opinion. This is a massive. This isn't a tiny company. This is a huge company. They have had to re-employ Gina Carano.
With all of that,
and she has been able to dictate terms. I mean, she wasn't a big star before. She's an ex-MMA fighter. She did a couple of great films. Haywire is a superb film, which I was really frustrated by because it said starring list a bunch of people, and the main character is not even listed as starring in it. She's back in every scene. It's ridiculous, but she's a great job of that genre of film. She's not.
Quick question. Quick. I think it's quite important here. Jerry has said. Should Drew keep doing that with his wheel when it's not on, unless he's playing a game at the same time?
It was not good for it.
It might break, I suppose, if you're turning the wheel all the time. Although,
it makes no difference because there's no resistance. If it's not switched on, it's not resisting the servos. It's just moving gears.
So it's no resistance on that one.
I mean, it will wear them, but it will take thousands of hours of wear. Okay, and I also want to say, Simon, I was not attacking you when I was saying about you saying stuff, though obviously I was really upset by it. Because he put earlier, don't get me started with Star Wars. No, I will get you started because
No, we're not
Simon,
talking about
you
Star Wars.
are such a geek. You are a nerd like me, and I love that fact.
But can the fans reclaim Formula One?
Yeah, I think we can. I think it will take some time.
No.
I think it will take time.
No.
But I think Liberty Media will struggle because it's left. It's going to split it.
Eventually, it might not be next year. It might not be 2023.
How many of us are there?
It's going to take a lot of the big business guys in F1 who will get so annoyed because they'll lose championships, they'll lose a lot of money. I mean, how much money has Mercedes lost? Well, I suppose they won the constructors, so they were all right. But if it starts affecting other teams, where they don't have the same kind of money,
Hugh, they're sponsors. If you've got Petronas and you've got Ineos, and they're getting all this coverage from the good. What would say any news is good news, or any publicity is good publicity. Even though it's controversy, if they've got hundreds of millions of people watching, then maybe they get away with it. But there has to be something behind it. There has to be some genuine racing and some genuine race fans behind things. You see it with car manufacturers when they start to make pastiche models.
Long term, yes, I'd agree with you, John. I completely agree with you, John. The problem is that these people, Trinity Media, are courting short-term viewers. The kind of people that think that it's okay to attack other fans on social media. The kind of people that think that you follow a team like you follow a football club or a national team. These are the ones that they don't last. Because, I mean, I managed to come across a set of comments on YouTube that I had with someone months ago. And they were saying they didn't care about this, and they didn't care about history, and they didn't care about that. They only care if Ferrari are doing well. So my answer was like, that long.
He's going to have a long wait.
Tell you what. Can I read you what I put? You won't take a second, okay? So this person had put about, he said he did not care. Called Z_row had put that he did not give a damn about anything, only what Ferrari did. So I see. That's a precarious position to base your enjoyment on one tiny thing. Liking or supporting a team is great, but to see the whole sport as that one team is to miss the point of the sport. What about the sights, smells, and sounds of racing? What about the incredible skill shown by many drivers? Were Fangio's titles less skillful or less important when they were for Maserati or Mercedes or Alfa Romeo, which was the mother of Ferrari? Was Schumacher worthless when he won for Benetton? What is Alfa Romeo worth? Alfa was the mother of Ferrari. He did his apprenticeship. He drove for the team. The cars that Scuderia's Ferrari were created to race were the Alfa Works team. Ferrari designed and manufactured the most successful racing car ever, the 158 Alfetta, for Alfa Romeo, and reconstructed them after the war for Alfa Romeo from the bits that were in the cheese factory post World War II. These cars won the first two World Championships until Enzo beat them finally in 1951. And he had a speech where he said his tears of joy and mixed with tears of sadness because today I've killed my mother, meaning that he had beaten his mother, Alfa Romeo. And this guy said that in the old days, and he was saying in the old days, Ferrari used to win all the time. And I was saying in the old days, this shows your age. Because for me, the old days of Ferrari, they'd not won for decades. The Ferrari, you say won in the old days, was a team that was changed and fixed by the genius of Ross Brawn, with Schumacher coming in, the man who also created the modern Mercedes team. The only reason Mercedes is successful now is because of Ross Brawn, not because of Toto Wolff. Toto Wolff stole the team off of him in a political coup.
Yeah. And here's a good question for you. I thought there are a couple of good things that Jerry had said. But if Mercedes left, they supply most of the teams.
Yes.
And I was saying F1 would be in real trouble if Mercedes left.
Yes,
they'd probably have to go back to V8 engines because they don't have a supply.
Oh,
they'd be struggling with. Well, Honda do it, but then they're sold it to Red Bull.
They're going to change the engines anyway.
Well, not next year.
No, not next year, but they are working to change the engines anyway.
Yeah.
And why? Because we've got the most. This is part of the old fallacy of reality compared with what's put out there in the ether for idiots to believe. We've got the most efficient internal combustion, petrol-driven engines on the planet in Formula One. Formula One's terrible for the environment. Yeah, maybe true, maybe not. Okay, but it's not the Formula One engines that are correct. There's 20 cars, for God's sake, going around 200 miles every couple of weeks. Most of the pollution of Formula One is created by travelling thousands of miles like that with tons of equipment to different race venues all the time. And it
sounds like COP26, doesn't it?
All
these nice
places. But we're going to have all these ships stuck in the Clyde, putting up our people. What? It's just hypocrisy. Total idiocy.
Here's another question to get as we get towards a close. From Jerry, he says, "What is your favourite ever F1 season?"
Ooh.
I enjoyed this one until the last 3 minutes.
To
be honest, I think
it was very good. It was very good, I have to say. Although I have to say, I remember watching Schumacher winning the Ferrari in 2000, when he finally got the championship for Ferrari, because we've been waiting for so long, and he finally beats Hakkinen in a great race in Japan. And I remember watching it in the early hours of the morning and thinking, he's finally done it, and it was a great result. I also remember Mansell winning in '92 and in Hungary when he was second in the race, but the world champion. For me, that was a big year because I was a huge Mansell fan. And I'm just trying to think what other one. I think that was and Damon Hill winning in '96. That was a
lump in my throat.
Yeah. But because at the time I wasn't a big Senna fan earlier on, but now you become that after somebody like a kind of heroic driver of Senna's kind of character, isn't it? You appreciate them more usually after they're gone. But they're certainly my favourites. What about you guys?
I like Verstappen. I do. I could probably more of a Verstappen fan than a Hamilton fan, really, even though I wanted Hamilton to win. I think the aggression that he brings to the sport is fantastic. I mean, I know his moves are dodgy, but some of those maneuvers where he just sticks the car down the inside from 2 car lengths back, and you're like, I'm coming through. That's it, and it's his dedication is just extraordinary. His raw aggression and talent and speed. His qualifying lap at Saudi until he crashed was just, I mean, it's not often an F1 car with the high downforce you see cars on the limit because they just kind of stuck to the ground. But that lap in Saudi before he crashed, I mean, he was on the limit, and you could tell he was giving it everything. I love that.
What was your favourite season, Simon? Jerry, when you're there, what was your favourite season? You can put it in the comments and let us know. And anyone else that's watching as well, let us know what was your favourite season. It'd be good to hear your comments there. That because it's amazing. I think we all have our favourite characters. We all have our favourite drivers. 2007 was a great year. Hamilton almost got it, as we were talking about earlier, and he would have been a rookie world champion, which was fantastic because the only other person that looked like he could do that was Jacques Villeneuve in 1997. But then he crashed in Japan and then gave the title to what was it? 96. He crashed in 96 and gave it to Hill. Yeah, wasn't it? That was the thing.
That was my favourite year. That was I'm with 96 because that was the year that I really. I mean, we used to have all sorts of problems with my ex-wife and I because she got into Formula One because of Damon Hill.
Yeah.
So Williams and Damon Hill, 95. She got into Formula One. I don't even know why. I don't even know why she picked up on Formula One. I mean, obviously, I've been a car nut all my life, car and bikes, all that kind of stuff. But I got her into Alfa Romeo in the early 90s with the BBC Two TV show called The Power and the Glory, which was probably the best documentary of motor racing that has ever been. And it's on YouTube. Look it up on YouTube. Look at it. Watch it. It is a superb and evocative piece of 12, 13 shows, half-an-hour shows. But when Damon won, I mean, Damon Hill, there's haters for Damon Hill and all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, Damon Hill and Williams seriously got me into Formula One. Massively. Okay? Regardless, whatever happened afterwards. That's why I started not being aware of and liking it because it's part of motor racing. I'm talking totally obsessive to the point of knowing everything about it. And it cracks me up because they're after soap opera these days, but soap opera was Formula One. Formula One is soap opera. You've got everything from silly season. I mean, it doesn't exist anymore. Silly season doesn't exist anymore. Silly season was when everybody decided, right, we're going to go nuts on employing new drivers. And it's the most literal application of the idea of a soap opera that I've ever seen. You got every kind of ridiculous scenario happening and people courting people and not got it. And it's funny because not grid girls, but the whole glamour thing was also a part of Formula One because you had everyone trying to look like they were amazing. It was all so soap opera. So
what's quite incredible, can I just say, because there's lots of people watching just now, and it'd be great just to let them know about next week's show. We have got Valerio Gallo, who is currently at the FIA Awards show, which I think is a pretty good guest to get.
Wow.
That's going to be fantastic. He's coming for his second appearance next week alongside TRL Lightning, Michael Hazal, from Turkey. Yeah, I mean, that's fantastic. We've got Kirith Kart, we've got Zavicic, we've got Darren Turner, we've got Dead-Eyed Bellboy in the world. Racing. Yeah, coming, yeah. And we've got... I know what's nice, we've got some of the smaller guys and the bigger guys all in together, and they can ask each other questions, and people can watch and also ask questions. I think it's going to be quite fun, and I think we've got that unique position to be able to offer that. Where else can you have folk coming in who are streamers and going to see a lot of the fastest guys in the world, and they'll be able to
great mix of the best people. Because I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of seeing everyone. I mean, I don't really follow Jimmy Broadbent and all this because they're so popular. They're not going to miss me. They don't care about me. It's when you get normal people. I mean, when I watch Darren, or Scotty. I mean, even Scotty's he's kind of out of my league, if you know what I mean. He's kind of he's on another level. He's so fast.
Yeah.
But when you watch Darren and when you watch so many others, Arkeys, it's kind of like normal people,
Yeah.
Doing what you might be able to do if you just get a bit better. Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. It's I can't relate. I can't relate to people who are so brilliant and fast and successful. I can't. I just can't. Yeah. I can relate to people who are like me.
But a lot of the guys are lovely guys. I mean, Michael Hazal, who came on a few months back, was a lovely chap. And really gave so much to the show. And so was Valerio Gallo, was fantastic, and all of them have given a huge amount, So
what did I want to call him? I can't remember now.
You did the thing with the pit stop. That's what you were always saying.
I wanted him to say a pit stop. Can you honestly, for Christmas, get him to say pit stop?
Darren's just appeared. We've just been talking about you, Darren, saying you're coming on next week. That I need to speak to Scotty as well, but I can take up to, I think it's 8 or possibly 10 people, but I think about 7 or 8 will hopefully be enough in terms to make it all work.
Can I ask a question.
Certainly.
I want to ask John.
I'm all ears.
I want to ask John his summary of F1 now compared with before. Why he loves F1, why it's maybe not so good now. I just want to hear John's opinion on all this kind of stuff because I do a hell of a lot of talking. I know I do. And I just, there are more considered, intelligent people out there, including this.
I don't think so. I think the passion that you showed tonight, and you got a little bit upset about it, and I totally understand that the reality behind it, the racing behind it, seems to be completely sacrificed to make something contrived for TV. And I totally get your I think the emotion was. I don't think you'll see anything like that anywhere on the internet. I think it's actually lovely to see people get quite upset and about it because you're actually reflecting what a lot of people think, me included. On that Sunday when I woke up and watched the race, and that last few minutes, I just felt flat as a pancake all day. It really wasn't. I just thought that's all year. Been watching this. Hugh and I have spoken about it in the 90s through the 2000s. Even haven't seen each other for a while. It's like, oh, what's going on with the F1? I used to talk about it with my dad, and you think, well, what would he think about it all? And you just think, it's just, it just felt really flat. And it does show how much it did mean to us.
I mean, sometimes you get those kind of flat years, don't you? Because I remember when Senna won in '91, and I was being a Mansell supporter, I was hoping that Mansell, it was down to the wire. Mansell had to beat Senna, I think, in Japan. And then he went wide at the first corner in Suzuka, and he went off, and that was it. Senna had won the title. So it left you leaving flat, but then
if
that was a result.
Makes a mistake and goes wide, then you have to just deal with that. But when something is confected from some office somewhere, then it's completely different. If Hamilton
the blowout, remember that
Verstappen had gone through and won, I would have thought he deserves it. It was a great battle, but the whole thing.
I mean, Mansell's blowout, 108 plus mile an hour blowout.
Yeah, incredible.
That robbed him of a title, but it didn't. That was like
it's disappointing. Huge disappointment. But
disappointing, unfortunate, gut-wrenching happenstance. That is
but you
not.
Understand it.
Someone sat in an office.
You come back next season to watch him race again because the tire might not blow next time. But if you come back next season and it's equal going to the last race and you don't know how it's going to end because Netflix basically wants to go one or the other, why watch?
Silverstone last year, those tyre blowouts. We can all talk about how Pirelli should have made a better tyre and it shouldn't do this, it shouldn't do that. But at the end of the day, that's a physical occurrence. That's they didn't do that deliberately. There's no way Pirelli would deliberately make a tyre to blow out after so many laps of Silverstone, right? It's not going to happen. That's...
Yeah, I mean, Hamilton finishing the race.
And then Hamilton finished in front, managing to control that bloody car with 3 tyres.
Yeah.
How the hell? Whereas Bottas didn't.
That's real drama. That's real drama.
And that's not only drama, real drama, that's talent. Real skill.
Yeah.
Real skill. That is incredible skill. And honestly, I'm sick and tired of hearing about how amazing Mercedes are with this pit stop strategy. That's based on like one race where they did a good job. They're crap. They're absolutely shit. They are so bad it hurts. It's like, why have you done that? You know, we keep talking. I keep trying to get across the logic of situations. You know, and McLaren and Mercedes both had the same idiotic problem where they come up with some mad idea that's based on something that happened 4 laps ago, and it's you know, that wet race where Norris should have won, and he should have won. He should have won his first race in that wet race this year. The difference was not based on strategy. It was based on information. Mercedes had more information and they passed it on to their driver that was being as sloppy as Norris was.
When you're ahead, it's very hard to know what to do.
And also he had nothing to lose because this was his first win, right? Yeah, John, it was his first win. You're absolutely right. He had nothing to... Well, they had everything to lose or nothing to lose. There was no in between. What's the point of coming second again? I can win this. I've got it. I've got the skill to do this. But in the situation, the difference was, and I've seen many podcasts on this. Mercedes had a radar system that showed them really heavy rain was coming.
Yeah. So they knew.
McLaren did not.
Yeah.
So McLaren, or they did, and they didn't communicate that properly to their driver. So Norris, if I was on that bloody phone to Norris, he'd be like, "These little shit, you little bloody 20-year-old, coming now because you're going to be all over the place because he's going to pay it down on you now. Do it now." That's
they probably would have
been saying
in the Charlie Whiting days. In the old days of Barney Eggleston and the rest of it.
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't, because it was all about the relationship between that race engineer. You know what I'm talking about, Hat-Trick.
When you were in my ear
honestly,
on Sayers races.
Honestly, and I want this superb fella here, Mr. Gorgeous, with his hat, to be your race engineer.
I can't do that. I can't do that.
No.
It'd be hilarious.
I've no idea what I'd do. I'd just be like, Hugh, you've got to drive the car fast.
You're making out like I know what the hell I'm talking about.
I'd be like, Hugh, come in now. Come in for wets. And he'd be like, but it's the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
Wow,
it hasn't
someone
rained
that
since
is so
1992.
capable. You've got such a low opinion of abilities.
You could come in,
to
be fair, you could come in alongside Andrew, because Andrew's very good at doing engineering work. In fact, the last time you were talking about Top Gear in the middle of my race, and I'm trying to concentrate on going around the track, and you were asking me questions about Top Gear. And so it's hard enough trying to look at comments, let alone trying to answer questions.
Seriously, okay. What is it? We're in Three's a Crown. We're in the races that you've done really well in. Even the ones where you were punted off by someone we can't mention because he's the best mate of the fellow that's running the race. What is it about what I do in those races that makes it easier for you to deliver what you're capable of? I'm not saying that I'm making you better. What I'm doing is stopping you being worse.
Yeah, I think you help me with awareness of what's going on and keeping me calm. By giving me the right information, the right kind of things to keep it all together.
Right. So you're Norris. You're going through you got 3 laps to go, and it's peeing it down. You have so far managed to deal with this weather. But if you've got information where you know it's going to rain so hard, it will make no difference how good you are. If you've not got wet type tyres, intermediates or wet, you're not going to be on the track. You're going to come off, and that's what actually happened. Now, what did McLaren say? Norris goes, no, it's fine. But he did not know what was coming. If McLaren had the information from the radar that it's going to rain that hard, they should have told him. You need someone on the other end of that line to go, listen, twat, you're 5 years old. Get in this damn pit now or I'll kill you. I will kill you. I will literally stick a tire iron up your nose if you don't get in this pit lane now. Now! Do it! And then he would have ended up at least on the podium, if not winning.
Because Hamilton had a huge advantage when he came in for his pit stop.
Only because he came in when he did. Only because he came in when he did.
Yeah. But to me, you're right. And going back to what you were saying about Mercedes, they have made a lot of botch-ups in terms of strategy over the last few years.
Yes.
Without any doubt.
And Red Bull have been brilliant on strategy. They've been superb. They have been the Ferrari to McLaren's Hakkinen years. Because McLaren and Williams were both crap on strategy. And Ferrari and Benetton were always brilliant. And the common denominator was Ross Brawn and a brain cell. Now, there are some things, like on that wet race, the reason I'm going about the wet race, there was a point where you come in It was like 15 laps from the end. 15, 16 laps from the end. Come in. Makes a difference. Or don't. There's no good coming in 5 laps from the end because you are screwed. You are guaranteeing something. You're guaranteeing being screwed. Because you're going to lose the time from the pit lane and all that kind of stuff. You're going to be behind them. And screwed. Whatever, screwed. And this is the I haven't got a computer program, but I can see it. Yeah. I can see it that if you come in, I did this on a plebs race, and oh God, who was it that was listening to me? Somebody I absolutely think that the guy that I was talking about and following on the track was listening to my commentary because I went right. Your tyres are shagged. You've got 15 laps to go. If you don't come in now, you'll never win. If you do come in now, you've got a gap to the last guy, and you'll come out ahead of them, and you'll have fresh tyres, and you may be able to win. So it's a case of guaranteed loss, possible win. Either way, you'll end up in the same place you're in now. And I don't need a computer program to tell me that.
Yeah, because over time through your experience how to make it work. Yeah,
I have unfortunately got a kind of brain that works that way. Concepts, it doesn't work in many other ways, many other ways, but it worked in that way. And you don't need, me talking to you on that radio. You get excited. It's a psychology. That's why I'm interested in the psychology of racing drivers. Why did DC not win a world championship? Why? He was as fast as Hakkinen. He was as fast as Hakkinen. I don't give a flying fuck what anybody thinks. He was as fast as Hakkinen and better at overtaking. Much better. And when he had that massive plane crash, he went on a new level. So why didn't he win? It's because part of the reason was because Ron Dennis was a nit. Ron Dennis absolutely adored Mika Hakkinen. And he would do anything. There was team politics going on there.
Yeah.
Look at Hamilton. Not Hamilton. DC ended up in Red Bull. And his races were charging past people. And yet he had this reputation of being rubbish at overtaking. Why? That's bullshit. He wasn't. He was brilliant overtaking. What he had was a bunch of people that decided what this character was. The dour Scotsman that's going to be like this. Hello, my name's DC. I'm driving like I'm 400 years old. Hello. I'm retired.
I can see the hat. I can see the hat on the rear parcel shelf. And
Absolutely. My mama and papa, they've got like a haulage company, and I'm driving a truck. He was super fast. I mean, my God. I've seen several racer champions, and he's always at the top. He's fighting with Vettel, 4-time world champion. Oh, come on.
I'm going to have to bring this to a close, only because I've been told I'm making too much noise.
Why?
But
oh yeah, okay, fair enough.
But we can certainly gather from all of this is that a lot of people will have been put off and will struggle to maybe watch it next year. And I think we kind of keep coming back because we like the sport and we like
keep coming back. That's the truth.
But we just have to see how it works.
But it has annoyed a lot of people. British Touring Cars is always awesome. Always. Yeah. And it's live on channel ITV something.
If you guys are watching would like to see more of our wonderful discussions and especially commentary, tomorrow we are doing Te Amuzons Rush Hour commentary. And it's at Barcelona tomorrow night. So it's going to be great fun. So it's going to be a good run. That's GT3 and GT4. And we should be live from round about 8 o'clock tomorrow night with me and Rue doing the official commentary of Te Amuzons, the Rush Hour.
So, I've got sunglasses. It's not fair.
Barcelona.
Hello.
I think it's been there already. You're probably quite right there, Darren.
What's it? Where are they gone?
I don't know. But on that note, we're going to, on that bombshell, as they would say, we're going to end the show. But remember, we've got our Christmas special, which has Valerio Gallo and TRL Lightning, Zavizic, Keirith Cart, Darren Turner, hopefully Mike Rogers Racing, Deadeye Delboy, and many, many more. It's been fantastic to have you all with us tonight. Take care. Have a fantastic week. Please join us tomorrow night. We'll be live on this channel, the Hugh Hattrick channel. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you very soon. Drive fast and try not to crash. Bye just now.